Bingity Bong! And welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel we're going to be taking a look at the PEDX-10 Jet Force Revive Commander. Can one Prime unite all the best features from multiple primes to create one perfect prime? Let's find out. As always on this channel, we're going to kick off by looking at the packaging. And the packaging here is really nice. So we start off with a beautiful looking product shot, although I do think that this is a CGI rendering, not a pure product shot here. We have the PET, all that. Then we got perfect effect down the bottom, and then pictures shown, prototype, finals may vary. So yeah, so it's a CGI rendering. Then we have the ages 16 and up. At the top we have Jet Force Revive Commander, and then we can see like a shadowy images, a dark image of Prime in the background. At the back we have another shadowy image of Prime, Jet Force Revive Commander. On the other side we have a shadowy image of the alt mode, and then Jet Force Revive Commander. And then at the bottom we have weaponry. We have a destroy cannon, an energy cannon, and an energy axe. It's made in China and perfect 19. It was made in 2019. It's a PEDX-10 Revive Commander. And then on the back we have the product shots, or at least the product renderings again, and we can see that we get a prime, we get a prime with a lot of armor, then we get the jet that it can turn into, so it's almost like a bit of a jet fighter. You can turn the armor into on the sly, and then we get a kind of G2 looking, let's be fair, a G2 looking trailer mode. So that's all the different modes that we get. We also get the destructions with this figure, and the destructions are pretty nice in the worksheet format that I like a lot. It's a fairly simple transformation, to be fair. You just transform the cab and then you disassemble everything else and just attach it like armor. Now time for the main event himself. Let's take a look at this take on Prime, and this is when I start to kind of, you can see what I mean here about it being like the perfect prime for everybody, because this pretty much like a very G1 kind of inspired cab, or G2, with a G2 inspired black trailer here. So this is very much like if you want a really nice looking G2 G1 style trailer cab. Very, very nice. I absolutely love the way that this looks. Everything as well, everything kind of fits in here. So there's no like accessories that you can pull off and attach in this. All the accessories are stored in the cab. The cab unfortunately doesn't really open. You can open these bits here and they come out like that, but there's nothing really on the inside. So you can see you can open it, but it doesn't do too much. But overall, this is a very, very nice. Now, as always, my booth is very slippery, so you can't really see the wheels turn too well because of the way that my floor space here is. But the wheels, when you get it anywhere but a very shiny surface, you can see put a bit more pressure on it. You can see that rolls very, very nicely, very, very well. I like the way that the cab it kind of looks a little bit Cybertronian. It's not quite perfect when it comes to looking human or Earth-based. It does have that kind of mecha feel to it, and the trailer is just absolutely gorgeous. I can remove the trailer. The trailer will just sit there. Unfortunately, again, these bits don't swing out on this, so it's not quite as good as some of the other trailers that we get. It is really just for the look on this one, but we will come back to this in just a second. Let's take a closer look at the cab. Now, you can buy this separately from Perfect Effect if you do like this model, and there's different versions of it available, but you can just get this trailer cab, and it's a nice enough looking trailer cab. This bit is a little bit sketchy at the back, but obviously when you put the trailer on, it hides. You can see very much that you do have that quite typical Prime false front now as well. Love these big exhaust ports at the top. A lot of the Primes are kind of, they finish about here, usually about the same level as the cab, so to see that these ones go all the way, all in with that cab, gorgeous, very nice. Nice wheels, all match, more than Hasbro can do these days, so that's pretty cool. And the paint detailing is very, very nice as well. At the front, obviously, you know, you can see there's a little bit of a gap here, unfortunately, so you can see it is a little bit blocky, but all in all, a very nice cab with a very nice looking trailer. The trailer itself just has a little peg here that pegs into the bottom, and as I said, there is multiple versions of this that you can get, so you can get one that is closer to Jinrai or the Power Master Optimus Prime, but what is pretty good on this is they've kind of used the same trailer, so you still keep those Power Master ports here on the side, and if you get Jetfire's cannons from Siege, then you can just attach those cannons to the side, and there you go, you get yourself a pretty awesome looking Power Master Optimus Prime. Look, that's nice. I really like it. This is how I'm thinking about, you know, if I ever display him in this is probably how I'll display it, because it's really nice. Also got 2 ports at the top as well. So, and again, these fit the Siege ports, so we can get Magnus's guns for this. Why not? Stick them on there, and there we go. And then we can be fully weaponized trailer. Okay, so now time for the comparison, and we'll start off with the Earthrise take on Prime. So we can see he is bigger than the Earthrise take on Prime. The cab is a similar height, but the trailer is just miles longer. So you can see here, I mean, this trailer does look a little bit stunted on this, but you can really see the difference. Cab wise, if I just remove the cabs, you can see they are a very similar size, the cabs. The detailing on this one and the horns though do look a lot better, and this one just has a little bit more height on it. Second one then will be your MP take on Prime, and we'll bring the MP10G in for this, and we can already see there's a big difference obviously between the size of these two. So he's not gonna scale with your masterpieces. Your masterpieces are much bigger than this one. Transformation time then, and the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to remove the cab like that. So we just have this one left. Now that you've removed the cab, untab here, untab here, untab here, and then you can take these 2 sections back. Now this section and this section are just going to fold in on themselves like that. So you've got that one in, and then you've got this section in as well, and then you should just be able to connect that back, yeah, and then that back there. So you can see that those have connected back in, and then at the back here this section comes down, and this section comes down here like that, and then bring the feet forward, so you've got his kind of bot feet available as well, and then that's pretty much the legs done. Now moving on to this, twist the legs around like that, and move down this section and move down this section. Then you can come around to the front, and at the front here I'm just going to unpeg this section here and just bring it up. It's a little bit depending on how good your tabs are. There we go. So we got this one up, and now we can unfurl the arm, and we can unfurl the arm. Listen to that. Oh, I do love me a good ratchet. Now we are going to come around the side here and move these. Then these arms, we're going to just move out to the side, so you've got lots of space. They're on some very nice ratchets as well. And then this whole piece here, we're going to swivel around, so you'll need to just do some maneuvering there with that. And then you've got this whole piece here. And with this section, what we're going to do is fold it in, fold it round, and then you've got a tab here. This tab needs to go into, so it needs to bring into focus, into this back piece here. So this tab needs to go in the back, so you kind of fold it down, and then once you've got it in, you need to lock it in with that. So this piece becomes the locking mechanism basically for the side. Then you've got a tab here and a tab here to get it into. Then it's just a matter of maneuvering the arms to how you want the arms to be. Just like this. And then bring the arm down. With the arms in position, twist the hands around and twist the hands around. Head comes forward. What a beautiful looking head sculpt on that. And then these pipes just fold in on themselves and then go down. So it folds in on itself and goes down. And then the final finishing touches are this flap here. Needs to go up, and this one here as well, just to make sure that there's no gaps on this piece whatsoever. And there you have your fully transformed Prime, and what a gorgeous looking beast he is. So here we have our fully transformed Prime, just without all of the armor, and he is absolutely gorgeous in this mode. It's a very nice take on this character. If we bring him in for a closer look and take a look at that head sculpt to start with, and it's gorgeous. It is somewhere between a G1 and a Bayverse Prime. It's beautiful. It is blue, silver. It's got a nice little, looks like a smiley face on there. It's really nice, and it's got those awesome looking baby blues there as well that Prime should definitely have. Baby blues or baby yellows, I'm all good with either. But yeah, looks absolutely fantastic. As we move down, he's definitely an Optimus Prime. Awesome looking abs there. No real gaps as well. Obviously these came up to fill the gaps that were in the arms there, which was cool. Also, like, if you go on the inside, there's really nice, if I can get this on the camera, there's some really nice silver detailing on the inside, so they have put the time and effort in. It's alright, don't worry, his hands will come off because it's part of how you put the armor on. It's just these strong ratchets make everything vibrate so much. The nice little yellow classic triangles as we go down the bottom there as well. Nice silver underneath the arms. The legs are just really great. The blue, silvers, and the yellow and the reds there. It's kind of like a metallic sheen, definitely to the legs, and this blue is like a deep blue, but very vibrant as well. Very nice. The back, obviously this is a false front, which we saw from the transformation, but the back still looks great. He has a little bit of a backpack, very tiny backpack, but I don't mind the false front because the back does look great. It doesn't look like it's just hanging off the side. It does look very nice here. The plastic does feel very premium as well. The is no diecast in this, unfortunately. It would have been great to have a little bit of diecast, I think, in the feet, and we'll come on to this with the articulation. The feet are a little light, which means he can have a few challenges with his posability, but overall, yeah, he's a absolutely gorgeous looking beast. Now let's take a look at his articulation, and his articulation is pretty good. You get a good full 360 here on his head, up, down. Then you'll get a very strong ratchets here to lift the arms up and lift the arms down. You can hear, oh, you can hear how strong those ratchets are. And then you'll get a nice full 360 here on the arm. He does tilt in a little bit, but you've got to really move this flap to get a full tilt if you want a full tilt. So you can do that. You also get some nice articulation here at the pipes. If you want them kind of sitting at the back, you can move those around to your heart's content as well. And then also, obviously, the elbow, we get some nice articulation and some full 360 action there. And the hand will do a full 360 and do this kind of weird articulation here from the transformation as well. The chest has a full 360 here. There's a little bit of ab crunch as well, only slight, but with all ab crunches it does kind of leave a bit of a gap here, but it's nice to kind of have that ab crunch there as well. Very stiff ab crunch. On the legs you'll get a full swing to the front and a full swing to the back and a full swing to the side, and then we'll also get some twist at his thighs so we can do a little jive in, and then he'll do the knee bend, will overextend all the way to the back there, so no problems there at all. And toe will articulate however you want really, because the transformation does need him to be able to do this. As I say, the feet are the only real challenge that I have here. It's just they just seem like a little bit thin or a little bit light, so I can't quite get all the poses that I want out of him. Because this bit's very heavy and the legs are a little light, so maybe some die cast in the feet would have been good. But other than that, yeah, no problems whatsoever. Usually at this point we take a look at all of the accessories, but all of the accessories are currently trapped inside this plastic tomb. So what we'll do now is we'll look at this and take it to pieces, basically, and then get all the accessories out before we put him on there and put his armor. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start to take it apart. So we need to just untab this front piece here, take the axe out. So there's his axe that we can use later. Oof, look at that. Then this section here just kind of comes out. So just untab everything. So we'll just fold out this section here and take apart here, to find the piece that just tabs. Everything is held together by very strong tabs, you'll be glad to know. So there we go, we finally get a piece out. So this section here does become a cannon type affair, so we'll take a look at that in a second. This is all his armor and his guns. You can see how this is all kind of stored away in there. So this part that becomes a massive gun just unclips, and then you'll see here, this is where the rest of the armor is stored away very, very beautifully, the way that that's stored away. And then this section here you can just fold thing. We'll use this later on because this becomes part of the armor. As you can see, that's where his little feet sit. And then again on the other side you can see we'll be able to just untab this section and untab this section, and then this will just come off like so. We'll fold this round because we'll do this for later on, so fold that in on itself, and then this section will just untab, so you can see everything just stores so nicely together, which is great. So then you should just be left with this one piece here, and again, so this section we'll take off for now because we need this later on again, and then we will. Then you can take these two cannons that are pegged in on the inside because you'll also need these later on. So there's those, and then you should be left with what essentially is this frame here that will have to manipulate in different ways to turn it into different things, basically. So you've got your Jetfire and you've got all your different things that all kind of sit around this framework here. So now we've got everything out, let's take a look at the accessories that we can use on this dude. And the first one is the hand axe. So he does have some articulation I forgot to mention before in his little handies, so he can grip and take things out as well, which is pretty cool. So we can put the hand axe in his little handy like so. So you've got the hand axe there. It's a bit of a weird one because the handle is, well, let's be fair, it looks like it's upside down. To me, it's a weird one. But I guess he has to have it here. so that he holds it like this. Bit of an odd one. He does also have some blasters that he can use as well. So these little blasters will also be, so you can see he can grip those as well. So he's got his hand axe and his gun, and he's ready to rock and or roll. So that's him with all of his kind of accessories that he can use in this mode. Now let's take a look at the first transformation that we get from the trailer, which is the Jetfire mode. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the trailer, which is probably going to be assembled in a certain way. So once you finish the trailer, you're probably going to have something left a little bit like this. So you just fold this down, this inside, and then this in. These bits are then going to turn out, and these bits just go to the side. Now, there is no instructions for how to do this, so if I get this wrong, it's not my fault. I'm guessing. We then move to this section here that we took off the front before, and all we do here is fold it in and fold this piece in, so we've got those two sections here. These bits are just going to fold in and in on themselves as well, and you can then flip this piece round, bring it through, and you can see they'll just clip together nicely just there, and then this section and this section come down and come down. This is also what will form the energy beam massive cannon thing that he will wield later on, so that's pretty good. And then quite simply you bring what was the body, or what looked like the body of the Jetfire piece, and there's a tab here and a tab here that tab into here and tab into here. Now, as I say, this bit is not in the instructions, so I'm just kind of hoping that I have got this correct. I'm sure if I have this wrong, you will correct me down in the comments, but I think that we are good. Now, it doesn't sit all that well. Hang on. There we go. And down. Come on. Maneuver this down and round a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing else for it to tab into. So if we look at the back of the box here, we can see, yeah, there's been a few changes certainly to the paint. There's no red on the front and thingy, but I think we're good, right? I think that's Jetfire. That's the Jetfire look that we need to get here. I think, like I say, no destructions for this piece. So really hoping that this is the right way. I think it is. We'll take a look here. It is just kind of an exoskeleton of Jetfire, really. It's just for the look. It actually plays a secondary part here, because although it looks a little bit like Jetfire, what's really cool is that little old Prime here can use this as like a Jetfire skateboard type thing. Now that's what's pretty dope about it. Now, to get Prime on his hoverboard, you need to put this connector all the way up, so this port needs to be pushed up, the front one just behind this, and then he's got a little port on the bottom of his foot which you can just stick in like that, and then we can just put him on his board like so, and he just stays there. And it looks, if you want to display him like this, I think that is actually pretty cool. You can, of course, as with everything, we can weaponize the sides here as well by putting two cannons just on the side and on the side here into these ports. And then once we've done that, we can give him his little power axe weapon, and he can kind of rock it on here with his power axe, and I think that's actually pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so time for the comparison then, and we can see him again first next to an Earthrise Prime, and we can say they are pretty much the same height. He's a little bit shorter, maybe in the head. The stacks do go a little bit higher, but they are pretty much the same height. But this dude, you can just really feel the difference on this dude. The quality of this dude, the quality of the plastic, the quality of everything used on him, absolutely gorgeous, and the paint as well. Very, very nice Prime. Next to a Masterpiece Prime then, we can see there is a massive height difference here between them. Obviously, we could guess that from the alt mode, but just to put it into perspective here, he does not scale with your Masterpiece. Okay, so let's get this guy fully armored up then. So the first thing we do is we go to the foot section and we remove this piece here, because this will go onto the arms. This will then turn into the foot, as we've said before, so we'll just leave that here. Again, come over to this side and get the top arm section, and you have that there. The other piece that we need to do is we need to come back over to Jetfire, remove the cannon for now, and just take this section apart again, because this will form the big gun and this will form the backpack. Okay, so step one of the transformation is swivel the hips and then swivel the legs, So before we can get those booties on, we need to make sure that all of this is transformed in this way, and then we can bring in a booty. So here's his booty, you can see. Make sure that you've turned this piece around, so this is on a bit of a swivel. So make sure that the nice looking blue pieces are on the outside, and then that just tabs in there. And you've got a massive tab on the front of this that just tabs into the bottom of the foot, and then you just peg the foot into the bottom here as well. So just angle these down as well, so you get that extra piece of lock, and there we go. And then that should be everything for that foot, and then you just give it a little bit of a tighten up everywhere, and then the same on the other side. So the big tab here goes underneath the foot like that. You need to make sure that this stays level, and then again just bring that down and in, and then you'll see you've got. Okay, so now with the old booties on there, the next thing to do is put his crotch plate in place. So the crotch plate just tabs, you've got 1, 2, 3, and the crotch plate just tabs into place in the crotch, just like so, which is pretty cool. So next up, we're going to put the kind of main frame section on. So we'll just move him back a little bit and we'll bring this out. This, after the Jetfire mode, is already transformed into exactly what you want. So these bits splayed out. The only thing you're going to bring forward is this section here. And you're going to bring back out the front section that we had here. And this time you're going to use the tabs that are here. And just tab this section right into the front. There, and then it's just a matter of getting this up, and you've got a big tab here that's just on the side there, big tab there, and a big tab there, and they are going to go into the big tab here and the big tab here. So tab it into one side first, and then tab it into the other side, and there you go, that's on. Then bring his arms down and bring this section down, and that will just clip in, and there's his big old backpack on. Next up, we do the top of the arm, so we bring out these sections here with the lovely flame on it, arch it up a little, and you've got a little tab here that's going to just fit. If you bring the arm down, it's going to just fit into that tab, focus tab there on the arm. So the pipes go through here. Don't get confused and think it goes through there, because it doesn't. Even though it looks like it should go through there, it just kind of sits on like this and then tabs in there at the side. So again, bring the other one through, arch the section through, the pipe goes through the big section, and then the tab goes around the back here. Angle the arm down. You can see that the tab just goes into the back there, and then we have his arm sockets all ready and raring to go. Finally, we have the hands, so bring out this section here, take off this hand, so just bring the arm forward, and then this tab here will go into this tab here, so you put it on just like that. That looks pretty impressive, and then just put his little hand back on. There we go. And then just the same on the other side. So stay here. Remove the hand. So again, all we're going to do is pop the hand off like that, and then bring this section into the tab, hand back on, and then you have your fully armored up Prime. We'll look at the accessories and articulation next, but gorgeous. Absolutely love the way this dude looks. So here we have our fully transformed Prime with all of his armor on, and this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the look of this. This is now one of my favorite Primes in my entire collection. It feels real quality as you hold it as well. The plastic is awesome, and this is where, you know, I'm really, like I say, this Prime can unite the Transformers fandom potentially, because it has, for me, all of the best features from all the Primes. You've got your G2 trailer, you've got your very kind of G1-esque Prime and Prime colors, you've got the flame paint from the Bayverse, which some people don't like, but I actually think is pretty cool. With all this on as well, you've got the kind of God Bomber front here from Super God Master Force, so it's like an amalgamation of all the best parts of Prime. And when it comes to the accessories, he's got a massive weapon. Everyone's got to have a massive weapon, right? So let's bring him in for a closer look here now, and look at the way that the armor is. Flame paint on the side, flame paint on the front here with that, like I say, that kind of God Bomber-esque looking front with the doors here as well, though, from the kind of more Bayverse one. It's really chunked out his arms as well with these massive blades that now come out the side. Pipes still sticking through, so he's still got some height on those pipes, even though it's through the flames. Feet look great as well. Proper chunky, massive feet. Backpack is huge. Let's be fair. There's a big backpack on this dude now. But because the feet are so big, it's actually pretty stable, as he falls over there as well, which is nice, thank you. He's actually pretty stable on his feet because of these big, massive galoshes that he has on. I'm torn about whether or not I think his head is too small, though, in this. If I had to say anything, I would have maybe liked to have had a head replacement to make him have a little bit of a bigger head. But that would be my only kind of challenge. I think everything else here is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. When we come down to, especially the feet have a lot of detailing in here. Like you can see the lights on the back of the trailer. We flip those pieces around to give it some more blue. Here, the wheels are on the inside instead of the outside now. And even the door panels had lovely details on the inside, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Really, really well done. Moving on to the articulation then, and as with everything, the articulation, once you slap a load of armor on a figure, does suffer slightly. Head obviously stays exactly as it is because there's nothing really going on with the head. We get some added articulation here in the back so that you can have these kind of splayed out however you want to give it that different look, so you can have those kind of extended to however it is that you want. The arms still articulate, but you can't really get a full 360 out unless you kind of maneuver it like this and then bring it round. So you can get a full 360, but not without some manipulation going on. Obviously the up and down on the arm is still the same. You can still get all the articulation that you want from the body, including the ab crunch as well, which is great. So having this armor on doesn't lock the body in one position. And then the legs still articulate very, very nicely. There's plenty of posability, and you get some added articulation here at the feet as well. The toes don't articulate, but everything else does. So he's still, even in this mode, even with a load of armor on him, he's still really posable. And you can get some great looking kind of action shots and action poses out of him. As with everything, this dude has got some accessories, and these guns that we showed off in the first place can go on his hands still, so we can hold them in this way. Or you can kind of place these guns into the ports that he now has all over his body from being on this. So you can actually have them, you could have one there on his shoulder. There is two guns, as I said, or you can have them kind of here now on this leg, which is kind of where I like them, just on the leg. So you can have one shoulder cannon, one leg cannon, whatever it is that you want. Just nice placement there for them. Most importantly in this mode though, he has the big ass cannon. Red, black, shiny, silver tipped, massive blaster cannon. So you can just stick this in his hand there. It goes up like that, and he can just hold the gun like that. That is awesome. Now, as always with figures like this, the biggest test, right, is whether or not he can hold the gun kind of forward like that without his arm going down, and he can. So this really speaks to how strong those ratchets are in his arm, that he can hold a gun this big, and even though it's hollow, it has some heft to it as well, and his arm doesn't go down. That for me is a win every single time. So you can pose him very well with this cannon however you want, and he will hold those poses, even to the point of like an up like this. However you want this cannon to be posed, you're going to get it. He has a nice strong grip with some strong ratchets to support such a big weapon. And then finally we can bring out his axe, which of course just slots in here like so. So he's got his axe, he's got his gun, and that's him with all of his weapons ready to go into battle. Very, very, very cool. Okay, so the question is, I guess, how much more height has these big galoshes and all this armor actually added to him? And the answer is quite a lot. So if I bring out Earthrise again, you can see now he's much bigger than your Earthrise Prime. And then if I take away that one, and if I add in the Ghostbusters Prime here, you can see now he's closer to an MP scale, or an MP size, but you know, you can obviously see that it is just going to be the little dude inside that with his big galoshes on. So he's not really going to fit in with your MP, but he does kind of bring it up to that height level. So my final thoughts on this dude, and would I recommend him? Yeah, hell yeah. This is an amazing figure. I absolutely love it. Like I say, this is something that I really feel there's something here for everyone. If you're a G1, a Bayverse, a Japanese Transformers fan, whatever it is, this can really unite the fandom behind it, this figure. I think there's something in it for everything, even a little touch of G2. I love it. The plastic feels phenomenal, and it's something where the armor, once it's on, doesn't even really impact the posability all that much. Beautiful figure, loving Perfect Effect at the moment. Definitely going to see what else they have to offer and pick up a few more things from them. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!